What moment made you think, yup, I'm dead, but you survived? I was choking on food, almost a full blockage and couldn't get any air in. After several attempts to get it out, it sunk in that it was really lodged in my throat and I was screwed. Started to feel dizzy and everything moved slowly. I remember thinking what an embarrassing way to die and that I didn't want my kid to be watching. It was at breakfast. I started dialing 911 when my husband came up behind me and started first aid. He got the blockage out and I started vomiting everywhere. It was very intense. I still went to get checked by a doctor to make sure my lungs were clear because I felt dizzy for hours after and my throat was raw. Took a day or so to heal. He 100% saved my life. I just got hit by a car going 50 miles per hour and broke 15 bones. I'm laying in the hospital right now typing with one hand. I found out a few days ago that I remained conscious enough to call 911 myself even though I don't recall doing that. Pretty much the only reason I'm alive is because I didn't injure my head. Car accident. We hit a patch of ice and went over a guardrail and off a 40-foot cliff. I knew was dead the moment I pulled my leg free from the piece of door stabbing through it and the blood came out like a faucet. I figured I could at least climb back to the road for help before I passed out, so I did. I flagged down a passing truck and passed out and died in the ambulance before they brought me back. The firefighters used my blood trail to find my friend's car, which saved his life. So mission accomplished. Going into shock. Shock is a weird thing. The body basically takes full admin control and you have no idea what is going on. It was the only time I truly wished I would just die because it was so miserable. Edit. For those asking, I completely broke a bone, clean all the way through. Mentally, I was totally with it. The shock was like this weird wave that washed over me of nausea. Time seemed to slow way down. What I thought was 6 hours was actually only 40-ish minutes. The weirdest part was I consciously remember thinking, why is my body doing this? I am fine. House explosion, 3 years old Edmonton, AB. I vividly remember standing next to a stove that someone was fixing in the basement apartment of my dad's friend's house, who we were visiting, and next thing I was opening my eyes in the daylight outside. I completely blacked out while the gas stove exploded and I landed clean in the driveway. My dad and mom were on the front page of the Edmonton Journal 1993. I remember distinctly thinking the brightness was heaven and that I had died and fell into heaven. My baby sister had died several weeks prior to SIDS and my mother and father had to explain where she had gone and I thought I was in heaven but it was the sky. Briefly trapped under the raft while in rapids white water rafting. Didn't get the breath I thought I would when my head hit the bottom of the raft. Thought I was a goner. A second later I was to the side of the raft and only mostly still freaking out. Food poisoning, felt shaky and like I had a weak heart. Outside looking at the mountains with the stars overhead. Accepted fate, reminisced about having a good life. Got hungry for a peanut butter sandwich, ate it, felt great, back to sleep. Hit a moose with a small car at highway speed. I thought this is it, I'm dead. Opened my eyes after and roof was folded in an inch or two from my face. Not a scratch on me. And nobody could find the moose, probably died in the forest somewhere from internal injuries. Squished in the middle car of a multi-car highway accident. Airbags deployed, car totaled, smelled burning scent, not sure what it was but assumed the car was about to explode. And stuck in the fast lane on the highway as other cars whizzed by this cluster F%, at high speed. Lived to see another day. Felt extremely shaky from adrenaline for hours afterward. I was riding a bike downhill in Bali, then somehow, the brake didn't work, probably it's too steep. And there's a cliff just right in front of me. So, I fell through that cliff. While shouting, holy shit, I thought it was the end of me, but luckily there's a huge bush cushioning me just about 2 meters below my dropping point. And apparently there's a small layer of land full of bush. And #X200B. Needless to say, I'm safe, just minor wound from the bushes, but the bike is thrashed. Getting dunked by a big wave and being dragged along the bottom of the ocean, head down. Absolutely terrifying, not being able to catch a breath. Saw a car jump a light and cut his front of me on my motorcycle and I had a millisecond to decide if I was hitting it head on or dropping the bike and getting run over. I chose the latter and after it happened I tried to stand up, but couldn't feel my legs anymore. But hey, I lived. Suicide attempt, overdose. Took lots of prescription medications and downed it with a few bottles of wine. When I felt myself slipping away, I called my boyfriend at the time who was living in another state to say goodbye. He got a wellness check done on me and I woke up in the hospital a month later. Crazy experience. Drowning. I was in the best shape of my life and loved to swim, but was completely naive to swimming in the ocean. It didn't help it was Cabo and there was a storm nearby, so waves were way bigger than normal. When my girlfriend drove the car into a tree at 70 kilometers per hour, she was highly depressed and suicidal. I went over to help and thought to take her to her favorite beach. She was quiet and engaging, so I just talked about random life and stuff to fill the space, maybe put on some music. She then screamed and drove right into the tree. The 4 or so milliseconds after registering what was about to happen, I thought, fuck, this is how I go. My ex-boyfriend from many years ago was physically abusive. One of the last times I was around him, he choked me out so hard and so long I thought that was it. I could feel the last bit of oxygen slipping out from my lungs and my vision narrowing. Fortunately, his dad came into the room right as I was losing consciousness, pulled him off me and then beat the daylight out of him. I packed up my stuff and my cat that night and drove the 800 miles back home to my parents. I only had to see him in court after that. Drowning. This has happened many times. I think maybe I should learn to swim. I was riding on a jet ski behind my friend on my first day of vacation back to my country on the Middle Eastern coast. My friend was so excited to go, so he was driving first. This man was literally gunning it full speed and didn't slow down for the other boats' wakes, so the 3rd or 4th time the jet ski jumped, it ended up landing with the steering wheel at 90 degrees and we just got launched off of it. I remember the force of the impact and why people say hitting water at that speed is like hitting concrete. 2 broken ribs, a collapsed lung and a deviated stomach later, I had to swim back to the jet ski and climb back up while holding my ribs. GG no re. Sleep paralysis dream where I got shot, and I legitimately thought I was laying there dying. I couldn't breathe or scream for maybe 10 seconds and actually thought that was it. Then I woke up. I served on a US submarine and we were about to launch Tomahawks at a foreign nation. Before the launch our captain got on the 1 mega coulomb and said he was proud to have served with us. After his speech, I was certain we were all going to die. I made me peace and mentally prepared myself for what was to come. After the launch though, nothing happened. Not even a skirmish with another sub. We made it back out to sea completely undetected and I thank my shipmates for steering us through.